Thank you for watching. Last video you see me upgrade a ton of stuff on this truck. This is my Traxxas TRX4. I put a ton of Savox brass parts on here. Some titanium links. Went over what else I did on the chassis just to make it perform a tiny bit better. This episode, this little video, we're going to tackle this problem. Now this is the part of the truck that I hated most when I took it out of the box. The body. Now the color itself, there's nothing wrong with that, but what I do really hate is these completely blacked out windows. I'm not sure if you're familiar what happens when you fully make the windows of your car completely black and not see-through, but you're gonna have a lot of accidents. So this is not really realistic, and therefore this body is going to retire. So what you can do if you have a body like this, you're on a budget, you can't find a new body, for example. You can, for example, take all the windows out and then glue some clear legs on the inside so you actually have some see-through stuff. But I'm not going to bother with all of that just because I want to revamp the whole thing anyway. So I got a clear body. I got this body from Traxxas Winkel.nl. That's a TRXXS-Winkel.nl. Some of you know, or I think everybody actually knows, that I'm originally Dutch. There's a lot of great stuff in Holland, like for example Febo. That's where you can get like snacks out of the wall. You put money in, you can get a snack out. We got Haring, we got, well, of course, Amsterdam. We got tulip fields, we got Madura Dam, we got Downrail, we got a ton of cool shit. But we also have Traxxas Winkel, so go check them out. This truck looks like a complete mess right now. It looks like I just went like blindfolded, or like with what you would see if you would sit in the original body, like over the body with tape and just randomly taped it up. That's actually not the case. What I did is I adapted what is originally a Porsche Cayman Club Sport paint scheme. I adapted that to actually fit this Land Rover Defender D110. Masking this up, by the way, is a couple of days work if you want to do it right, if you really want to take your time, and if it's a bit of a more complicated paint scheme. The body, by the way, comes with window masks. I throw those away because I don't like factory window masks, and it comes with stickers, and I'm also throwing those away because I'm not going to use any stickers on this paint job. So for example, windows, window frames, all of that is going to be painted. Now it comes completely pre-cut, so you also have all of the holes that you need for the cage on the inside. You got like the inner wheel wells, all of that stuff. All of that is already done. And then in addition I needed to cut a few more holes and drill a few holes for some extra accessories, also for example over here on the side. Now in the next video you're going to see what all of that is about. The car is going to be called the Offender because, well, usually it's of course a Defender, but a lot of people get offended when they watch my videos. And then when I ask why that is, it's because I don't laugh enough. People think that I'm a really cynical man, but I don't see any merit in pointing at stuff and doing like fake laughter, going like, I think you've all seen people who actually do that just to make it seem like they're more fun or whatnot. If there's nothing to laugh about, then just don't fucking laugh. It's as simple as that. That's at least what I think. I'm not one of those people who wants to create some fake engagement on videos by asking, well, what's the coldest temperature you've experienced? Do you ever turn the lights on at home? What's your favorite food? Do you have a cat? So, Offender, well, we're just going to roll with that. Now, I'm going to fill in the whole background first, and that's going to be, let's see, I got a bunch of crap laying around over here as well. This is why you always hold on to your scraps. This is a scrap from an interior panel, and I'm actually going to go with a ton of gunmetal colors. Tamiya just released, I believe it is a PS63. If it isn't, I will correct that in the bottom of the screen. But they just released a new color, a bright gunmetal, and that's also the color that I'm gonna start off with to paint in that whole background. Well, the whole masking of the body, of course, as per usual. Make sure that it's clean, wash it out. If you have any lettering, for example, go into Photoshop, create your font and what you want to have in the size that you want to have it. Flip it around horizontally just so you can stick it on the outside of the body. Then you tape up the inside of the body and you put it on, well, in this case a lamp, just so you can see through it, and you start cutting it on the inside. It's really simple, there's not a lot to it, it just takes a lot of patience to get it right. All that said, let's start painting. As you can tell, I paint really thin. If you have never watched a video of me before, then you may be one of those people who really paints it all the way until it drips. With the lamp on underneath the shell, you can tell that there's almost no coverage, but it is enough. Good way to test that is just turn your light off and have a look. If you have, you can, for example, put a piece of paper behind it, see if you have any see-through with the white. If not, then you're more than thick enough on the paint. So right now I filled in that whole background. I got 3 different tints of gunmetal. The lightest one, then like a middle tint, which I backed with the light gunmetal, and then a dark tint, which I backed with a black. And after that, we're on to the final stage already. So we're going to peel this whole back section. I'm going to fill that in with a light blue. Back that with a white, and then I still have a few parts that I need to spray black. Nothing too complicated. So the white behind the light blue, I'm basically just doing that to make sure that I'm not gonna stain it up with the black afterwards. Yeah, let's start peeling. If you want some, just let me know. Well, that wraps this one up. I really like the way that it turned out. It looks, I think, a lot like that Porsche. So I actually gave everything that's that gunmetal color. Gave that a flat clear. Left the windows covered when I did that, and also the entire back part, so that light blue. And I think it adds a nice little touch. Now there's a ton of accessories that I still need to put on this truck, but we will do that in the next video, so I hope you will watch that one as well. This video, I think the most important thing to show you, in case you're interested in painting of course, is that whole double masking technique. So what I did here is I put the design on the outside, like I explained you. So you print it in reverse, you stick it on the outside and then you start cutting it on the inside of the body once you've covered it up with tape. Once you've done that, that's when you can also determine where all those additional lines where you want to actually have them. What I did then is, let's see, I got one of these cutting mats, you may be familiar with those. You just basically you peel a strip of tape. You put it on your cutting mat, just like this. And from there out you just take, well, basically like a ruler or a straight edge, whatever you have. You just cut up your tape, like so. You peel it off, and that way you have like a strip of a shape that you want. You just put that over the masking that you've already cut. That will also make sure that you don't have to score your masking again. Hope that makes sense. If not, I can explain it a tiny bit further in another video if you want to. I think it also shows that just using a few different either color orders or a few different spraying distances can give you a couple of different tints of the same color. I do think that new Tamiya PS63, that it really helps. It looks like a really cool color, and this paint job would have not been possible without that particular color. So I'm glad to see that they add that to the arsenal. Now there's a ton of stuff that I still need to do, so I really want to get into that. I hope this was a helpful video, just to show you that you can really make that TRX4 body look a tiny bit different as well, make it look perhaps a tiny bit more realistic. So here is again the stock version. And I think you could tell that leaving those windows clear is pretty important. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. I always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments box. If you want to have more information about traxxaswinkle.nl, go have a look in the video description. I will leave a link to their website over there. They were kind enough to supply me with this clear body, or it was clear of course. And if you want to be ahead of what I'm doing over here, Facebook and Instagram, links to those as well in the video description. Next video we're going to completely deck this thing out with some 3D printed parts, some stainless parts. I got a ton of stuff for it, so that's going to be fun. Thanks for watching, take care, bye bye.
We're back on.